This injured mama bear brought her dying cub to this man, and then he did an incredible act. Packing up his fishing gear, James headed home, unaware of the surprise awaiting him. Frustrated by the unsuccessful fishing trip due to strong river currents and tangled lines, he just wanted to get back to his cabin. Opting for a shortcut through the bushes, he encountered a terrifying sight: a massive black bear blocking his path. Maintaining composure, James recalled proper bear encounter protocol, raising his arms to appear larger and avoiding excessive noise. Despite the close proximity and the bear's distressing moans, he saw that the bear was hurt. She had cuts on her fur with blood on them, and one of her front paws was injured. Despite her condition, she seemed more defeated than threatening. Recalling a mother bear and her cub he had seen earlier, James sprang into action, realizing the injured bear likely sought help for her missing cub. With the bear following, James hurried to the river, scanning for the baby bear. Spotting a dark head bobbing in the water, he realized the cub was struggling to hold onto rocks against the rushing current. It appeared the mother bear had attempted to save him, but ended up injured herself. Knowing time was running out, James knew he had to act quickly to save the cub. James was determined not to let the bear cub drown before his eyes. However, having been in the water earlier, he understood the strength of the streams. He knew that jumping in unprepared would lead to his own demise. Quickly formulating a plan, he retrieved his fishing gear and the rope from his basket trap. Securing the rope around himself with a long piece trailing in front, he tied the other end to a nearby tree. Without hesitation, he plunged into the water. The situation turned out tougher than expected, testing James's determination even more. Drawing on his Navy SEAL training, he navigated towards where he last glimpsed the cub, listening amidst the growls of the worried mother bear pacing on the shore. Disoriented and breathless, James struggled to ascertain his proximity to the cub. Yet, a surge of relief washed over him as he spotted the cub's head bobbing nearby. Just as James readied to change course, tragedy struck. The cub lost its grip and was swept away, disappearing into the dark water in an instant. Reacting swiftly, James pursued, fearing the worst if he lost sight of the bear. He managed to seize the cub just in time, the rope taut with tension. With the cub now secured, James focused all his strength on reaching safety, despite his own exhaustion. Finally, with his feet touching the ground, James realized they were near the shore. He grabbed the cub and stepped out of the water, feeling relieved they had made it together. The mother bear approached them with remarkable speed, especially considering her size and injuries. James hurried to remove the rope from the cub before the mother reached them, but he didn't have time to check on the cub before she whisked him away. Exhausted, James collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. He was too tired to do anything else that day, but he knew there'd be another problem coming soon. While he rested, he heard the mother bear's sad cries, sounding even sadder than before. When the injured mother bear returned with her limp cub, James was taken aback by her subdued demeanor. Placing the cub next to James, she moved away, as if trusting him to save the cub once again. Despite not knowing exactly what to do, James listened for the cub's heartbeat and heard it, bringing relief. But the cub still wasn't breathing, and James knew he had to act fast. Driven by instinct, James performed CPR on the cub, an unfamiliar task but one he knew was necessary. It felt like an eternity before the cub finally coughed and began to breathe. Witnessing this miracle, James wisely retreated to allow the mother and cub to reunite, understanding that they were still wild animals, albeit with a bond forged through their shared ordeal. As they seemed on the brink of a happy ending, tragedy struck once more when the mother collapsed, her injuries worsening. James, having exhausted his ideas for helping her, could only watch in despair, knowing she needed more care than he could provide. James was shocked. After rescuing the cub, he never imagined he'd witness it becoming an orphan before his eyes. Without a phone to call for help and his cabin too distant, James's body cramped up, leaving him feeling helpless. It seemed like this extraordinary day was destined to end tragically. It was heart-wrenching to see the cub attempting to engage with its mother, even trying to rouse her to no avail. Then, James heard a sound resembling a pickup truck. He called out, and soon forest rangers appeared, alerted by hikers who had seen him earlier during the rescue. They swiftly tended to the injured mama bear, bandaging her wounds and securing her and the cub in a bear-sized crate. Rushing them to the nearest wildlife hospital, the team's efficiency was commendable. Gratefully, one ranger provided James a ride back to his cabin, knowing his heroic efforts would take a toll on his body. The following day, James visited the bears at the temporary enclosure. The sight of the mama bear's shaved patches and scars emphasized her resilience. Despite challenges, including an infection, she remained strong, buoyed by her cub's presence. Witnessing their bond and determination to survive was remarkable. As the cub grew restless, it became evident they needed more space. Upon their full recovery, they were released back into the forest, marking a triumphant moment. James's pride in saving the family outweighed the sorrow of not seeing them again, or so he thought. Weeks later, while sipping his morning coffee on the porch, James spotted the familiar sight of the mother bear and her cub, unmistakable with their shorter fur. Their chance encounter cemented their enduring bond, reminding James of their shared journey and the power of resilience.